Is AI a bubble? Are companies overspending? Who's winning the AI race? And how do we recognize victory? Mustafa Suleyman, CEO of Microsoft AI, is here to answer these questions and much more. Welcome, Mustafa.
Thank you, Rula. Good to be here.
Let's start with last week. There were breathtaking increases in CapEx spending by AI companies that reported. And perhaps for the first time, markets were nervous. They really want to start to see revenue. Microsoft's stock suffered as well. What was your reaction? Did that make you feel like that I'm under pressure? I need to deliver a lot faster?
I think that, there's no question these are unprecedented times. And I think markets are trying to wrap their head around how this plays out over the next 5 years. The interesting thing is that I think, a lot of us at the companies and certainly like the generation before me have seen multiple of these cycles over the last 30 years. And they often require unprecedented action in order to really actually land one of these big waves. And this is a wave unlike anything anyone's ever seen. The prospect of being able to create an intelligence, the very thing that has made us successful as a species and create everything of value in our world, I think is just unprecedented. And the progress that has been made just in the last 2 or 3 years is eye-watering. And we've seen a very direct and unequivocal relationship between an order of magnitude increase in flops invested for computation and a pretty linear increase in capabilities. Like over the last 15 years, there's been a 1 trillion-fold increase in training compute. In the next 3 years or so, there will be a further 1,000x increase in training compute. And today, as a result, we have models that can code better than the vast majority of human coders, maybe even all of them to date. That some of the literally the inventors of things like Linux are publicly saying on Twitter that they're full-time using these models as their primary method of generating new code. So that's pretty unprecedented, and I think it justifies unprecedented spend.
But will markets keep with you? I mean, you have to.
I think markets are markets. They're sort of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I mean, markets have to figure it out, and I think there's a lot of open questions around the timeline. I think that we all have no doubt that these returns do compound to revenue and to bottom line. So we'll see.
So Microsoft still has the deal with OpenAI, and Copilot is powered today by OpenAI models. You were hired last year. You're in your second year. Tell me a little bit what you are working on.
Yeah, I mean, my personal mission at Microsoft is to build superintelligence. 3 or 4 months ago, having renegotiated our long-term relationship with OpenAI, we extended our IP license through to 2032. And we also decided that this was a moment when we have to set about delivering on true AI self-sufficiency. I mean, this, after all, is the most important technology of our time.
Self-sufficiency means developing your own foundation model.
We have to develop our own foundation models, which are at the absolute frontier, with gigawatt scale compute, with some of the very best AI training team in the world, and paying for, organizing, sorting all the data that we need to do that. And so that's our sort of true self-sufficiency mission. But it's important to recognize that their rate of deployment is coupled with this other mechanism to kind of pull things in and be quite restrictive. We don't have that mechanism, and I think that is actually a little bit concerning. I mean, if like you mentioned earlier, the safety incident around Maltbook, I mean, there is going to be a real one of those in the next 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunately an open question as to what the mechanism is for managing that safety situation from a public interest perspective on the open web. And I think we all...
Well, there isn't one right now.
Well, I think that's basically true. There isn't. It would come with popular pressure. Obviously, if there was a direct violation of a local law, then, there could be an intervention. But those things take quite a long time to make their way through the system. So that's probably one of the biggest areas of concern for me.
Mustafa, thank you. And when you do reach superintelligence and you start deploying it, we'd love to have you back.
That's good. Great to see you, Rula. Thank you.